Greninja Ex. This card just came out of Twilight Masquerade, and this might be one of my favorite decks. So let's build a deck out of this. In this video, we're going to go over the deck list and an explanation of how the deck works. But a little disclaimer, this deck just came out, so this might not be the optimal way to play it. But at least this is how I would play it. Alright, let's start off with the deck list. For the Pokemon, you're running 4 70 HP Froakie, 1 Frogadier, 3 Greninja EX, 2 Call the Family Pidgey, 2 Pidgeot Ex, 1 Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, 1 Rotom V and 1 Lumineon V, 1 Manaphy, and 1 Radiant Serena. For the supporter, you have 3 Arvins, 3 Ionos, 1 Roxanne, 1 Boss's Order, and 1 Professor Turo Scenario. For the items, you have 4 Rare Candy, 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Nest Ball, 3 Buddy Buddy Puffin, 2 Counter Catcher, 1 Energy Search, 1 Pal Pad, 1 Super Rod, 1 Enhanced Hammer, 1 Lost Vacuum, 1 Canceling Cologne, 1 Forest Seal Stone, and 1 TMD Evolution. For the A-Spec, we're running 1 Prime Catcher. For the Stadium, we have Lost City. For the Energy, running 2 Double Turbo and 6 Water Energy. Now let's talk about the deck. Greninja EX evolves from Frogadier, which evolves from Froakie. And that's why we're running 4 Froakies. But you're probably wondering, why am I only running 1 of these Frogadier? It's because we have 4 Rare Candies. Rare Candy lets you skip an evolution of a Pokemon. The main reason why we're still running 1 Frogadier is because of TMD Evolution. TMD Evolution de-evolves your Pokemon. So if your opponent plays TMD Evolution, and if you didn't use Rare Candy to evolve the Greninja, you can just evolve it back next turn. I also forgot to mention why we're running the 70 HP instead of the 60 HP Froakie. And that's because of this card right here, Dragapult EX. His second attack, Phantom Dive, does 200 damage, plus 6 damage counters to your bench Pokemon any way they like. So running the 70 HP is really good because you don't get knocked out. This prevents them from taking more prize cards. Dragapult EX will probably be one of the top decks of this format. Alright, on to Greninja EX. His first attack, Shinobi Blade, does 170 damage for only 1 water energy. That is really good in my opinion. Plus, it also has an effect that lets you search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. And yes, that is any card in your deck. Onto his second attack, which costs 1 water energy and 2 colorless. If you discard 2 energy, the attack does 120 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And if your opponent does not run Manaphy, this is really good. Next, let's talk about the Pidgey and the Pidgeot. So Pidgeot evolves from Pidgeotto, which evolves from Pidgey. And yes, we're not running the Pidgeot, because we're running 4 Rare Candy, which lets you skip an evolution. So the main reason we're running this Pidgey is because of his first attack, Call for Family. For 1 colorless energy, it lets you search your deck for 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. So if you're going second, this is a really good way to set up your board if you have nothing else. And Pidgeot has the ability to call Quick Search. Once per turn, you may search your deck for any card you want and put it into your hand. And this is the main reason why it's in the deck, to help you search for any card you need in certain situation. Not to mention, it has an attack that does 120 damage for 2 colorless energy. Blood Moon Ursaluna EX is there as your secondary attacker. He has the ability that lets you use his attack for 1 less energy for each prize card your opponent has taken. And his attack Blood Moon does 240 damage. This is mainly used for late game, because if your opponent takes 5 prize cards, that means he can attack for free. Rotom V is mainly there for his ability, which lets you draw 3 cards and it ends your turn. This is really good on your first turn to draw more cards. Lumineon is also there for his ability, which should let you search your deck for any supporter cards. Manaphy is there to protect your bench. Radiant Serena is there for the ability Elegant Heal. Once per turn, you can heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. This is mainly for Dragapult. Shout out to On Guard. He actually told me on Twitter to run this to help with Dragapult. On to the items now. We already talked about Rare Candy. It lets you skip an evolution from your Pokemon. Nest Ball and Ultra Ball is there to search for your Pokemon. Buddy Puffin is there to search for Pokemon that has 70 HP or less. Energy Search is there to search for 1 energy. And since Radiant Greninja EX only needs 1 energy, this is really helpful. Pal Pad is there to recycle your supporter cards. Super Rod is there to recycle your Pokemon and energy. Enhanced Hammer is there to get rid of a special energy from your opponent's Pokemon. This is mainly for Lugia. Lost Vacuum is there to get rid of your opponent's tool. This is really good against Guardy or any other deck that has a tool card. And since we're running 2 V Pokemon, we have 1 Forest Seal Stone to get any card we want. TMD Evolution is to de-evolve your opponent's Pokemon. This is good into any deck that runs Rare Candy. For example, Charizard, Chin-Pao, or even the Mirror, Greninja. Let's talk about these 3 item cards because they go really well together. Canceling Cologne is there if your opponents use Manaphy, so you can cancel out his ability. If your opponent has Manaphy, Greninja's second attack will not do any damage to the bench. And that is why you use this card. But Manaphy has to be in the active for this card to negate his effect. So that is why we have cards like Counter Catcher and Prime Catcher, which let you switch your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. And for the Stadium, we're running 1 Lost City. Anytime a Pokemon is knocked out, it goes into the Lost Zone instead of the discard pile. This is just a good card to get rid of your opponent's Pokemon. Let's talk about the supporters. Arvin lets you get an item card and a tool card. This is a really good card to have if you're going second. You can search out cards like Buddy Puffin to set up your board, or in the middle to late game, you can search out any card you need in certain situation. Iono is there to help you draw and disrupt your opponent. Boss's Order is there to switch your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active. Roxanne is a really good card late game to disrupt your opponent. You can only use this when they have 3 prize cards left. You guys both shuffle your hand, you draw 6, and they only draw 2. Lastly, we have Professor Turo. If any of your Pokemon is damaged, you can use this card to put the Pokemon back into your hand. This is a good card to slow down your opponent and prevent them from getting a prize card. Lastly, let's talk about the energy, mainly the special energy. Since Greninja's second attack requires 1 water and 2 colorless, All you need to do is slap a water energy and a double turbo. That's because double turbo counts as 2 colorless energy. If you have any questions about the deck, please let me know in the comments. And since this set hasn't officially released yet, I have not been able to test this on Pokemon TCG Live or even at locals. So the deck list could change. So I'll be making a more in-depth guide in the near future. But in the meantime, check out my other videos right over here. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give this video a like. If you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.